Yeah, absolutely. So let's imagine I've got a killer script. It
Yeah.
just fell into my hands, and I want to make a movie from it. What should I do next? What's the first place to start?
Well, the first place to start is to kind of understand, that, and this theoretically could have happened before you made your script, but if you have your script already, you're going to have to deal with it. But to understand what kind of budget you're talking about, meaning if you wrote a script and man, it's killer, but the opening scene is 20,000 soldiers storm the field, and they can't be CGI soldiers, you're in trouble already if you're trying to do an independently financed feature film. That's a studio film, and you should be trying to sell the script like you'd sell a studio script, and just trying to sell that script. But if you want to make the film, so you got what I'm kind of saying there is you want to think from a producer's mindset before you even write the script. I used to help people. That was one of the things I would kind of do consulting and give them notes on their script and take little scenes and say, I mean, for example, there was this one script that I did this for where it was supposed to show this little girl's kind of isolation, and she was sitting on a school bus, and and no kids were talking to her. It's like, okay, I can get that scene. All right, so now you have the school bus, you have the drivers, you have 30 extras and the kids, and oh man, this is going to be a serious scene to shoot. It's like, so then I just rewrote that for this person and just put the girl on a park bench. So a park bench you could do outside, you could do it for free, and you still have the kids walking by and ignoring her, and or maybe other kids sit at the edge of the bench and then get up, don't even look her way, and it's like that one is basically free. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, before you even did this killer script, you should have thought about the financing. But if you got it, and afterwards, now you got to look at it, and the first step is to say, what realistically can I do this for, as cheap as possible without losing any production value?
That's interesting. So keeping the integrity of the script, but looking at it from a financial point of view to see how you can do it as cheaply as possible.
Yeah, then that little teeny example I just gave you with the school bus versus the park
Yeah.
bench. I mean, does that lose any integrity of the movie? You're not. I mean, if you went from a baseball stadium to a park bench, yeah, you're probably changing the integrity of the movie. But if the school bus and park bench, you're not changing anything. So yeah, you don't want to lose production value. You don't want to lose integrity. So you got to look, and say, okay, how can I do this? What scenes can I never lose? And this has to be done in in a log cabin. You know what I mean? Like, and that, something like that. And so okay, I can't lose the log cabin. That's so important to the script. You know.
Yeah, and Sam is saying get well prepared and use imagination, I guess.
Yeah, use imagination and creativity, and a lot of times in studio films and studio directors, that's why they have a tough time coming down and doing independent films, is because the mentality is, well, let's just pay for it, we'll build it, and in the independent films is let's find a solution, and that's why many times I worked with former studio directors, and it was very difficult because when you could tell them we don't have any money to do this, they wouldn't think of solutions. They would just jump up and down and scream and and pout and all that stuff. And versus maybe a young first-time director goes, what can we use for a log cabin instead? Let's
Yeah.
use a shed, or something like, I don't know, it's something, and they think of a solution which is it's much better for an independent film.
So I guess you've got the movie you want and the movie you're going to get.
Yes, and you want to find a happy medium in between, again,
Yeah.
so that you're not sacrificing anything. But again, all of this is, yeah, the preparedness, the preparation that you're doing is looking at a script from a producer's mindset. Those are the words right there. You're
Yeah.
looking at it and saying, how can this best be served economically? And it's not just settings and locations. It's number of characters. It's size of the parts. If every part is a small part, how are you going to get a big star or a well-named actor to play this thing? And so it's all of that stuff that you need to do that prep kind of even before you have your script, or if you have it, do it afterwards and reshape and rewrite the script.
One of the other problems that we got when we did the survey was a clash between writers, directors, and actors. Is this part of that where the producers and the directors are saying we need to cut back on certain areas, and the script writers are saying, well, this is not the movie I wanted?
Yes, but the key is that's putting the writers separate, and if the writers just the right. I mean, yeah, there's always battles and there's always egos, and artists, have these big egos, and it's all true. We all do. But the key is, if the writer is thinking from the producer's mindset, or the writer's on board as a kind of producer, then it's a little easier to do that. So if you're just the writer selling the script and you're independent from the producer director, or say you're a producer on the line or director on the line, you've acquired a script. Okay, you may have some hurdles to go through, but you really just need somebody that's on board from the start, and it's not. I mean, I went through a nightmare with my last film with the
Mm-hmm.
writer, and it's ongoing. And so, one of my friends, a guy named Dan Solinger, line producer, maybe 45 films or so, uh, said that he knows as much as he pretty much can about lights and and crew and procedures. Says, but every new movie he does, he learns how to completely new lesson on how to manage personalities. And I'm like, God, that's so true. You have a new set of challenges. So there's always going to be challenges, but at the end of the day, remember that everybody wants to make the best film and be most successful. And the key, all I can say is, if you have a nightmare, which I've had several times, nightmare director once, nightmare writer this last time, get rid of them. Don't use them again. You'd be a fool to work with that person again.
Yeah, and during the making of our movie Bad Romance, we actually experienced quite a lot of things of what not to do, which I actually found very helpful. In fact, I think I learned more from the mistakes that we made than we actually did from the things that were working well.
Yeah, you want to get better and better and keep changing and changing your approach, and and trying to be more and more successful.